Sometimes we all experience the feeling of just wanting to be back in the past, especially during these times where going outside is considered a rarity with all of this virus going around. There's always that one specific thing that makes you feel nostalgic. And it could be anything really, an old game, a console, a song, anything. The one thing that we all can agree with is that this little game called Minecraft has shaped thousands of kids' lives for the best. And today I kinda want to just revisit that whole feeling of being back in the 2010s and just talk about the beauty that is Minecraft nostalgia. In late 2013, I, a little boy, first got my hands onto the game that we all know and love, Minecraft. At that time, I had absolutely no idea what the game was even about. I really was just diving in and hoping for the best, that I will understand what was happening and what I even needed to do. But that didn't even matter, because I fell in love with the game almost immediately. I perfectly remember the very first time that I have landed into a world, the very first time where I had dug a 3-block hole into the ground and covered the top off with dirt to hide throughout the night, the very first build that I have made, and eventually the very first time that I have fought a zombie. The reason why I remember all of these things so perfectly is because the connection that I have made with Minecraft is so hysterically strong that over time it became nostalgic. Once again, nostalgia is induced by your personal affection that you have had with one specific thing. So Minecraft can be literally the most non-nostalgic thing to you if you haven't even played it in your life before. But those who have played Minecraft before know that Minecraft is one of those games where once talked about, most of the time you get flashbacks to the past. But why does that happen? Nostalgia is a mental and emotional state where a person is longing for the past, a past full of good memories which we would like to relive. When we are nostalgic, we most likely never remember the moments that were bad, but moments that were good. You most likely won't remember the moments where you got spawn killed in a PvP lobby or got in your house blown up by a creeper, but you will most likely remember the times where you used to play the game with your friends after school, and the very first server that you have played in with your friends. Happy moments which you are happy to look back on. And Minecraft is great for that, because it is a game which sets the emotion and feeling of the player who is playing to be incredibly relaxing and calm, since the game's point is to give you the freedom to do anything that you want. One of the reasons why the game was made to be as simple as possible was that everyone could understand how to play it and finally enjoy it. And one of the things that shines in simplicity are the game's graphics. Notch aimed to make the game look and run as simple as possible, since the Java engine could barely run the game. But this simplicity is what's making the game so unique and nostalgic. The game's graphics literally are just a bunch of blocks covered with PNG textures. The graphics are one of the main factors why the game is so nostalgic. If the game had had better graphics, it most likely would have lost all of its uniqueness. Minecraft is a game that wants you to focus on your own creativity and on the game itself, rather than the graphics. But again, the graphics are only one of the things that make Minecraft so nostalgic. The main thing that really sparks that nostalgia button on is the feeling that Minecraft simulates. Let me ask you a question. Whenever you play Minecraft, what do you usually feel like? Most likely you never even notice because you don't think about the feelings that you're having when you're playing the game, because you're focusing on the game itself. But if you really had to pay attention to that feeling, what would it be? Most likely the feelings that you have are either relaxing or happy, but it doesn't really matter what feelings you really have. Us humans remember feelings incredibly well. And feelings are an incredibly huge part of nostalgia as well. The feelings that you have made with the game itself is what's sparking that huge nostalgia. The more feelings, moments, and memories you have created with the game, the more nostalgic you will feel in the future. As humans, we remember our senses the most. Knowing that the main 5 senses that we have, only 2 of them are able to be felt while playing Minecraft. Those are sight and hearing, which brings us to the next most important key factor of Minecraft nostalgia: music. It is no secret that the Minecraft soundtrack is one of the best music projects ever produced in the gaming world. The ambient, calming Minecraft soundtrack made by the amazing C418 has received countless praises from players and even music critics all around the world. The soundtrack is known for being one of the most relaxing and in one way saddest soundtracks out there. The soundtrack consists of relaxing piano chords and strings playing in almost each single track. Almost all of the songs have one thing in common, and that is the major chords. The major 7 chord and the major 9 chord can be heard quite often on the soundtrack. Some songs that have those are Hexdrum and Subwoofer Lullaby. At the early alpha days, Daniel wanted to make the soundtrack totally different. He wanted to make the soundtrack change as the player slowly progressed into the game, such as entering a different environment or biome, something really similar to what Terraria has done. But he didn't want to make calm, relaxing music only. He wanted to make some battle music for the moments where the player would be fighting a zombie, but thankfully ended up not doing it.
Now you say, well, it makes sense that the player's in Savannah, we can play Savannah music, right? And then you just like randomly play Savannah music. But now the player goes to the forest, and because players don't really stick in one point in Minecraft, that player is in the forest really quick. And now the Savannah music is playing, and now we have to stop it, and then it's like, just play forest music. All of that is really clunky and like uncomfortable.
The reason why we have this really simple, beautiful soundtrack till this day is because at the time, Java Engine could barely run the game, and everything had to be incredibly minimalistic, music included.
So you have 2 looping sounds at the same time. The problem with what we have in Minecraft is if you do that, it crashes.
One thing that adds an incredibly nice touch to the whole soundtrack is the lo-fi effect, which makes everything sound a bit more muffly, softer, and less intimidating. And knowing that this is a game soundtrack which is playing in the background at a volume which you can barely hear, this makes the music fit in so well with the whole experience. Sometimes the experience is so well that when playing, you don't even realize that the soundtrack is even playing. But when you do, you enjoy listening to it. One thing that Minecraft has done differently than pretty much all other games is the timing when the soundtrack and what song from the album plays is totally random.
We basically made the music just like randomly happen between 15 or 30 minutes, just like for no reason at all. And what happens because of that is like players do like their terrible dirt hut, and it's an ugly thing, but they like had an effort put into that. And like if the music just randomly happens to play because of that, like just because like they made like a dirt hut, it makes them remember that moment like more like specifically.
Although the soundtrack has the ability to calm you down, it still has that one side of it which can be titled as sad. The reason why is because when Daniel was asked to compose the soundtrack for Minecraft, the game was only in pre-classic mode. At this stage, the game had absolutely no sign of sentient life at all, and it felt quite lonely. Daniel probably realized that, and he wanted to reflect that feeling into the music as well. That is most likely why he decided to use mages throughout all of the soundtrack. Chords which spread a warming sound, but a sound which comes with some dissonance on top of it. This is the reason why we feel nostalgia whenever we hear the Minecraft soundtrack playing. The sadness which comes with the songs is what makes us remember the moments that we have had with Minecraft so well, and mix that with personal memories which are perhaps even more important than you think they were, and you get even a stronger dose of nostalgia from the game. I'm pretty sure that everyone that has played Minecraft in the 2010s will remember the times when they used to play with friends while speaking on Skype. The times where you used to play Minecraft with friends that as of right now you've most likely lost contact with. These little memories are personal memories. These memories are all different for everyone, but all of these memories are connected by one thing. They've all been made because of Minecraft. And after all these years, sometimes just remembering about these past moments makes life stop for a second. Remembering the times where everything was more simpler than it is now. And we should cherish these moments, since if you remember them even after all of these years, then that means they're important to you. Nostalgia is a really powerful thing. It can be really unpredictable, and sometimes it can be just there because you're looking for it. But the thing is, as much as we want to go back to the days where we didn't even realize that we were making memories, we should focus and try to enjoy the present. Because we all know that in a few years forward, we will be missing these days as well. Thank you for coming in and joining the ride to the nostalgic days of Minecraft.